You know, it's strange how life throws curveballs at you, and you run with them. People often ask me, how did I get in this business? How did it start? And I'll just tell you straight up, I was a combat infantry officer in the Marine Corps, and I've seen some things that aren't so nice, and I've seen some lives that have been affected by some things that aren't so nice. And during the Gulf War, I was a combat casualty officer, and I delivered death notices to families. In one particular family, the woman couldn't find a $10,000 life insurance policy, and I remember after giving the notice that her husband wasn't going to be coming home, we stayed up for hours looking for a policy that we still couldn't find. But it was just something that I said, wow, I'm able to comfort this person and to try to make a difference. And it always stuck in my mind. When I became involved in the business in October of 1988, at the time I was selling mostly term life insurance, but had a couple of situations where there were some deaths, and I got to see the benefit of a client and then a friend really rely on the trust that they had put in me. And that's so cool that I'm able to help a family for such a short amount of money to continue on with their lives.
Well, it was about the time that the stock market was starting to take a nosedive.
I was never really comfortable with where I was previously invested. It was all remote, it was all electronic, and it just was very impersonal. Then we found about Dave locally, several years ago now.
2007.
2007, thank you, dear.
So we attended one of Dave's dinner seminars, which was very helpful.
Principal protected, guaranteed income, increasing income, not just for me.
I was very pleased with Dave with the interview. He's prior military, I'm prior military. It was a very comfortable situation.
And became a client right after that.
Maximizing income.
I've been aware of David for many years with his writing in Laconia Daily Sun. I really enjoy David's passion for his business, his clients. That's one thing that I noticed. To me, that tells me a lot about a person.
I felt very comfortable talking with Dave, and when you have a chemistry and they have the same values and they believe in what they're doing, which I know Dave does, that could sway somebody to work with that person. But the bottom line is the product that he's presenting to you. And I know at DAK he has some very, very, very good products.
Folks today want to find some programs that can offer safety, growth, and control. And
the important thing about the money, it's not shrinking, it grows, and in the program that Dave has set up for us, we will not outlive it.
And have it available if we need it. Very handy, very comfortable to have that with Dave.
What you see is what you get with David. He is upfront, he is passionate, and he's about as honest as it gets. He's had people ask him questions in the grocery store, and he will literally stop whatever he's doing and talk to them because he thinks it's that important to make sure they're taken care of. I mean, regardless of whether you meet him in person, a seminar, golf course, doesn't matter. He's all about it, no matter where he is. He's just very caring.
Yeah, and I even get a little emotional about this because my grandfather I grew up pretty much, my mother was a waitress, and me and my brothers really just, we didn't have anything growing up. My dad had left my mom, and essentially my grandfather was in my life, and he took me golfing. Seeing him and his friends laughing, you know, it was a World War II, they'd fought in World War II, and you always could smell scotch on their breath, and you know, a couple of them smoked cigarettes, and they were laughing all the time, and you know, you see these beautiful sunsets and silhouettes of people laughing up on the golf course and hitting golf balls, sometimes on the green, sometimes elsewhere, and you just sort of fall in love with life. And every night that I could remember when there was free time, my grandfather would come over and get me and say, come on, Dave, you can caddy, and I'll pay you a couple of dollars to caddy, and I'll show you how to hit a driver. And I remember my grandfather on the fifth hole, he always used to say, one day you'll be able to drive past that ridge. And I remember one summer night, I drove past that ridge, and just to look at my grandfather, how happy he was that I actually accomplished something that he had set as a bar for me, and that I accomplished it. Those are some of the seeds that made a difference for me in my life. I always thought so much of my grandparents. They were so good to me. And I know that my clients have similar stories as well. They have people that impacted their lives.
The most important piece for David is when he looks at a client and he figures out what they really want as people. The numbers are great and they are a big part of it, but that's not the most important part because most of us don't live with a number. We live with people and what we want to do with those people.
What's important to us is health and financial well-being and the ability to enjoy ourselves and with our friends and our family.
Yeah, family is the most important thing to us. We're fortunate there, have 4 grandchildren, 4 wonderful grandchildren. We get to see them often.
David's clients tell him things that are very important to them and very personal because it does make a difference in their plan.
What happens is you get to know clients, you get to know their families, you work with them when there's heartache in their lives and participate with them in the planning process on a routine basis, that you begin to know them, and they're not just clients, they're really good friends. We have really, really good friends.
David believes in what he does, and he actually does it, because I don't think there's ever a conversation when we meet family that he doesn't bring it up, that you should have your stuff done. When you love people, you should take care of it and have a plan, so it makes it easier.
When you make a difference in the lives of people that are measurable, it's something that is so rewarding that you just don't do it for the money anymore. Been doing this 27 years, and I can tell you, I love what I do. And it's very, very rewarding to help people that come in genuinely looking for assistance, and you can make a difference in their life.